Hey, welcome back to Mod and Pop Thrift. My name is Tom, stay-at-home dad for 5 kids. I am a full-time eBay reseller. Today I sold some boots. Even though it took me 10 months to list them, that's a win. Welcome to Mod and Pop Shoe Store, where all we sell is shoes. Big day today. Lots of shoes sold. High dollars. Small amount of things sold. Big money. Let's take a look at it. Only 6 sales today, things that need to go out. Pretty easy stuff, but 3 of my 6 were boots, which is nice. I got these boots for $4 at a thrift store. They are not in very good condition. They're Echo brand Receptor boots, and they are Mark Echo. At least I suppose this is the same as Mark Echo with the like rhinoceros. I don't know, but they are. Somebody just didn't take good care of them, and I started to clean them up, and I'm like, forget it. I put them $25. They sold plus shipping. These I got for $2, and I spent some time working on them. They are Red Wing brand, and they're from like 2012 or something, 2015. But Red Wing boots sell, and so I cleaned them up as best I could. I should have probably put some laces in them. It took them a little while to sell because they just don't present super well. Sold for $55, I think. And these I listed yesterday, and I put on the old Instagram reels how I put cardboard in them to make them present well. Let's look at that. Are you listing a tall pair of boots? Do you use bubble wrap on a regular basis? Here's a tip. Cut the cardboard out of the middle of the bubble wrap. Shove it in the shoe, and it just is going to photograph so much better. Better photographs, more money, faster sales. Floppy boots don't sell. And that's just going to allow them to present as the excellent condition pair of boots that they are. And tuck your laces in, don't tie them. These, I had a couple of messages like, hey, would you take less for these? Do you have any more just like them in a different size? Do you have any? So evidently this is somebody called them jungle boots. They are evidently a fairly popular variety. I bought them probably a year and a half ago and let them sit unlisted for that amount of time. I listed them yesterday. They sold immediately for $60. I don't remember if that was before or after shipping. Let's come over here in my orange lid box and find some big boy pants. These are 501s. Oh, Levi's discriminate against fat people. They don't put the size. If they're above a certain size, they just don't put it on the outside. These are 5230s, white 501s, button fly. They have a little stain on the front of them, but I suspect that is from me mishandling them, and it's disclosed. I suspect one good wash that'll come out. They didn't sell for a lot, but I only paid $5.99 for them. One more pair of shoes that I forgot, and these I bought 10 months ago, and they still had a price tag with a date from Goodwill, and I just listed them yesterday. They sold immediately. This is the shoe rack. It's just a bookshelf that was in this garage when I moved into the house, and I just started putting shoes on it. Skechers Shape-Ups. Judah actually found these. They were $5.99, new with tag, and they sold for, I had them listed for $59.99. And I don't ever remember whether I do free shipping on items. I think I did on these. And somebody was a watcher, so I sent them a list. I sent them an offer for 10% off, and that got the bite that I wanted. After 10 months and only having $6 into them, I feel like getting them sold at $54.99, even if that's a little below comps, it feels like a win. These are, if you don't know, Skechers Shape-Ups are still a pretty popular variety of shoes, but Skechers got sued for making false claims about how healthy they are to wear and how much they help you tone. I think that's right. Get at me in the comments. If I'm wrong, if that's folklore and I'm wrong about that, let me know. But I know that they no longer make shape-ups, and these are obviously never worn. And so, but they're kind of small size. They're white. And so those things detract from them. But for $5.99 into $55 in one day of being listed, even though it took me 10 months to list them, that's a win. Welcome to Mod and Pop Shoe Store, where all we sell is shoes. You like my authentic vintage champion Jordan jersey? Nintendo's as far as the eye can see. This is where my red Wii goes, but I pulled it down because I needed to test the game. That's actually why I have all of this stuff. I collect complete in-box consoles, and I started collecting complete in-box consoles because I wanted to be able to test the next time I had a Game Boy game. I wanted to be able to test it, Super Nintendo game. But like, this is a super rare variant, and so like, I know if I have this Game Boy complete in-box, I can test the Game Boy game. If I find a Game Boy game, I can test a controller. If I find a controller, I can test the power cord or the AV cord. Anything that I would find, I have all the parts that I need in that box, displayed well, and ready for me to pull down and test anything for any of these consoles. Now, it's become a little bit obsessive. These little puzzles, Ninja Turtles, Beetlejuice, Spider-Man. This Spider-Man was sealed. Flintstones Kids and Aladdin. They are worth no money. And that's kind of sad because they're way cool. And so when I find them, they're normally $1 and they're not worth reselling, but I pick them up because they display really well. They're cool graphics and they're cheap. So I like them. Hey, and welcome to Mod and Pop Thrift. My name's Tom. I am a stay-at-home dad for 5 kids and a full-time eBay reseller. And I've got a whole bunch of sales for you today. I think I'm doing a second intro because I never showed you the ones from the other day. So either way, here we go. Cabela hat that I paid 50 cents for. Didn't sell for much, and the buyer paid for it, and it took forever for them to pay. I do automatic payment on everything, and I listed this. It's not in great shape. And so I listed it for like $7.99. I think I sent a $6.99 offer, something like that, where it was like, I listed it for nothing and then made a nothing offer, and it was enough to get the person there. But all I do is stick these in a 8x6x4 Supply Hut box, tape, and a label. Vintage Reeboks tend to be something that I buy kind of, I suppose, emotionally. Like, these are vintage Reeboks, and look at the tag on them. They are not worth reselling most of the time. These didn't sell for much, and they've been around a long time. I didn't pay much for them. I think I got them $3 or $4 at the thrift store where I always buy shoes for $3 or $4. And they're in nice shape, and so I will make money, but vintage Reeboks aren't worth paying much for, unfortunately, especially not hiking ones. And we will wrap each shoe in a little bit of bubble wrap and go like this into a shoebox. Priority mail, shoebox. Yeah, shoebox right there. And we'll slide these bubble wrapped into the shoebox. Easy breezy, beautiful. I feel like this one's interesting, even though it's no money at all. I mean, I didn't lose anything, but I didn't really make much. This is an I Love New York bag, and then it says, I carry crazy. I always carry a little crazy with me. You never know when you're going to need it. And it's just a shopping bag. But the story on this shopping bag is, it was a bag that was given to me at a thrift store to carry my stuff out of the store. Well, I'm like, somebody will buy that. So it was free. So I think I sold it for $6 plus shipping. Throw it in a poly mailer. Bing, bang, boom. Really? Okay.
Mom said $1 box was just pop container.
Yeah, she's right. She put that stuff in there.
And I checked the Squishmallow box.
Ninja Turtle, they're upside down. Ninja Turtle beach towel, I paid $2 for it. I've had it for 6 weeks or so. Levi's karate chopping things. I'm gonna fold this up and Levi is gonna put it into a poly mailer. This shirt is Black Duck, made in the US. It's a vintage, just kind of a sportsman's shirt. It's kind of that duck cloth, and then it's got a duck embroidered, and it's called Black Duck, and very ducky shirt this is. Not in spectacular condition. Some of these Black Ducks can bring some good money. This one sold for that amount of money. I don't remember. I paid $2 at an estate sale a while ago. I don't remember how long I've had it.
Just in case you didn't know, with the poly
Mailers?
You don't strip this off and then put the item in. Put the item in and then strip this off.
It's a lesson we learned
The hard way.
the hard way. These were retail arbitrage at Target a long time ago. And I sold through a bunch of them. I paid $2 for them. I sold through a bunch of them, and I was going through a shelf back there, and I was like, hey, I had one each more that didn't make it into the original listing, or for whatever reason they didn't sell and they weren't listed. So I listed them, and I sold pretty quick. This is a big pile of shovelware. It's crappy games. This one is Road Rage Simpsons. It's not worth much. It's not a crappy game. But the rest of them are like Finding Nemo and 4-in-1 puzzle games and Bob the Builder and just junk games. They were sitting around in the house. We were cleaning some stuff out. These are, it's like 14 games. I think I got $30 for the lot. They're not worth much. They're not going to sell individually. $30 for games I have nothing in. Seemed like a good idea to me.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Thug life. I bought this for 99 cents. Sold for that amount of money. Not much. It's from Spencer's Gifts. I was a little bit surprised that eBay let me sell it. These are cast iron. They're like enamel cast iron, like Le Croissant, whatever that brand, French brand is that's super fancy that you look for. But these are American made. They're not marked. They're just marked as number 5, 8.5 inch skillet. These are both the saucepans are the same. This one, it's 1 quart saucepan with a lid, and there's 2 of them. And then this little skillet is a number 3 that's 6 and 5/8 inches. And so that's all the markings there are. It took me a little while doing the research to figure out that the handle shape and the print on the back, these are enameled over Birmingham Stove and Range Company. So they're not in great shape, but they were left in this house when we moved in a year and a half ago, and I just listed them like 5 or 6 days ago. They needed cleaned real bad, and so when I was cleaning some other stuff, I cleaned these too, and they got listed, and they were listed for like a week. I listed them for 90, and I sent a offer out at 80, and they sold. Asics shoes, I paid $2 for at a yard sale the other day. Sold for like 25, and I don't remember if that was before or after shipping. Books. These I think are kids' books, but they look a little horrific. They're called Cirque de Freak. 5 books sold for $9.99 plus medium L ship. Oh no, these sold plus priority shipping actually. And they're not in fantastic condition, but I paid 50 cents a piece for them at Goodwill. Le Tiger, I had this listed for a while. I paid $1 for it at an estate sale. The Tiger, vintage Tiger tag, made in the US. And somebody sent me an offer for 14 bucks. I bet I've had it for 6 weeks. And I accepted that offer. I think it was listed for like $15.99 plus shipping, and they're like, would you do $14 free shipping? So I just changed the listing and made it $14 free shipping. And I think I changed the listing and made it $17.99 free shipping, and then sent them an offer as a reply to their message for $14. This piece, this is a when in doubt, parted out thing for sure. This is a battery cover for electronic Stratego. I paid $2 for the whole Stratego game. This thing sold for $6.99, free shipping. The battery covers are really important to that game because it's not like the batteries are going to stay in place by themselves. So if you break or lose your battery cover, you're lost. And I bought 2 of them, neither of them worked, so I parted them both out. Ice bag in the box. This is the kind of thing that you can sell to a prop house if they want it to sit on a shelf, or if they want to have some crazy looking ice bag for a comedy bit, something like that. This is really strange. I pick up this healthcare stuff a lot when it's new, when it's in the box. This I've had for a long time and it didn't sell for much. It sold for $11.99 free shipping. This is a bag of accessories, including joysticks for this teacher's retirement system, TRS 80. It's not teacher's retirement. I don't know what it stands for. Tandy. I would suspect that it's Tandy Radio Shack 80. Doesn't matter. It's a Radio Shack TRS 80. It's comparable to an Atari. But it's a lot less common. And I paid $200 for a huge lot at an estate sale of video games, and I'm way into the profit. So it doesn't really make a lot of difference what I paid for that. I want to say I paid like $50 for it. Sold for $75 plus shipping. I think it was marked at $50, and I ended up paying way less for the whole bundle than everything was marked. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter. I have had that for a long time, but I didn't have a game for it. So I went on eBay and I bought a game for like $6 so that I could test it and hope to test the controllers. It didn't read the game, so then I sold it as parts, but I sold it with the game included. I think it was worth the gamble on the $6 game, because if it had worked, I would have been able to get like $140. I lost on the gamble, but I would take it again. Asics. I've been finding and doing fairly well with Asics. I don't think I've had a pair of Asics listed for more than like a week and a half yet. These I paid $3.99 for at the old Goodwill. Sold for $24.90 free shipping. This hoodie I thought about keeping. Vintage Nike. I paid $2 for it in an estate sale probably 6 or 8 weeks ago. I listed it for $40 plus shipping. It sold for $30 on a best offer. 2XL vintage silver tag Nike hoodie. Spell out. When it says the name of the brand real big, then it's considered a spell out. Another keyword for you. Great is thy faithfulness, leather bound, Our Daily Bread, 365 Our Daily Breads, so like one for every day of the year. And you just read these little passages that have a little Bible thing and then some thoughts. 365 thoughts, one for every day of the year. I know I paid $1 for this. Sold for $7 plus shipping. So not a fortune. It's not the kind of thing I'd pick up again. This I got in a box with a bunch of other stuff at an estate sale. It's missing the battery cover, but it is working. Sold for $12.99 plus shipping. Not a bad thing on something simple and silly like this. I'm sure I have pennies into it, and $12.99 plus shipping is pretty good profit. There's something interesting about this. I want to say I paid $5 for this at a garage sale. RL 150, which means it's all down inside there. And Ralph Lauren, while Ralph Lauren is not a really good brand for resale, something like this is going to do well, a higher end piece. The comps, there were only 2 listed, and one was $75 plus shipping and the other one was like $110 free shipping. But then I went into the solds, and the solds were like $30, the ones that had sold. And so I'm like, mine is 2XL, which is a really good size, and it's in really fantastic condition, and I listed it for $29.99 plus shipping, and it sold pretty quickly. I could have been $50, but I just believe it would have sat for a long time, because those people who had theirs marked up, they're not selling at that price. So it's important to look at not just completed, not just what's listed, but what has this item sold for. And on an item that has, like, this had 2 listed and like 7 solds. So it's got a high sell-through rate, but there's not a lot on the market. So on something like that, where there's such a vast difference, it's important to stick with what's sold. On an item where the whole bunch are listed and a whole bunch are sold, you can kind of squeak up against the end of the market. This, I was well below what the listed would have said the market was, but on something where you've got a whole bunch listed and everything is north of 50 bucks, but most of the solds are $46, you could probably go 52 if the lowest one is listed at 55, 59.99. Because you don't want to race to the bottom on something, but you don't want to overprice the market just because everybody else is overpricing the market. End of rant. Vapors, Vapor Max, Nike Vapor Max. These had a torn tongue, like somebody was putting these on and yanked up so hard on this tongue that they tore it on both sides. Otherwise, this would have been a $120 pair of shoes. I paid $4. As it stands, they sold for $74.99, which isn't bad for a torn pair of shoes that I paid $4 for. It's tricky to rock a rhyme.
It's tricky.
This, I paid $2 for at an estate sale a week ago. I tested it, it worked, it plays tapes well. I tested it without testing it with the batteries because I didn't own the right batteries for it. Somebody messaged me and said, hey, I really want to use it with the batteries. Will you test it with batteries and let me know? So I went to Menards, is where I ended up, and got the cheapest C batteries I could buy, stuck them in there. It worked with the batteries. I messaged the guy, said, hey, it does work with batteries. My $5 investment turned into a paid sale within an hour or two of letting him know that it did work with batteries. And I don't understand why, but I will tell you that if you post a really nice hat at a decent price, chances are good that it's going to Malaysia. The hat culture in Malaysia must be on fire. And this is a really good sale that I got. And this is going to Oregon, but it's going to a freight forwarder in Oregon, and the guy told me it's going to Malaysia. This is a Camel box, Camel cigarettes, vintage Camel cigarettes box that has, this is how Camel was shipping hats back in the day. So this is how the guy's gonna get the hat, but it's, I may just send him the box and put the hat with the other hats because I don't think I would want that hat that way, but that's the way I got it. So that's crushed in the box, but it was pictured. Anyway, this hat sold for $15. This one sold for like $7. And it's Thomas & Betts, which is an American company that makes like the receptacles in your wall and light switches and stuff. Springfield Electric is a local electrical parts distributor. So, but this is a cool looking camo hat by Regal. I don't think they bought it because of Springfield Electric or Betts over the Thomas & Betts over there in Malaysia. This one is PD Max Lures, so it's fishing, and that is not a company I could find anything out about. But it's a nice looking snapback. I paid 50 cents for that one. I paid 50 cents for this one. He paid $30 for that because it's that old Caterpillar. Ringhaver is a distributor for Caterpillar equipment in Florida. And this is a little bit crunched, but it would have been a really high dollar hat if it was really, really crisp. And you can see that crunch in the listing. So he sent me a message. I sent out like 10% off offers on all three of these hats, which made them $30, $15, or $30, $7, and $15. And then he sent me a message about this camel one and said, would you take $15 for that, and I'll buy all four of them, and then you can ship them to Oregon and they'll ship them to me. And I was like, sure. $66.97 on 4 hats. And I got this in a bundle where I paid $10 for everything, and I sold one of the t-shirts for like 50 bucks, and it went to Malaysia also. So I'm maybe $1 into this, but I'm into the profit on the bundle. 50 cents, $1, and 50 cents. And that's a pretty good way to make money. And you can see even crunched down in that box, this hat is not bad looking if you just pop it out. And I'm sure that guy's got some tricks. If he's buying $70 worth of hats from the United States, he's probably got some tricks on making hats look good. So I will send this in the pile with the rest of the hats. So yeah, I'll probably send those 4 like that in a box. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of Mod and Pop Thrift. We did a handful of days worth of sales, and hopefully you learned a lot, some things to pick up. I do a lot of videos where you follow me to thrift stores and we find all kinds of cool stuff that is worth a lot more than you expect once you do some comps. So like and comment on this video if you learned something, and subscribe if you want to keep learning more. Hit the notification bell. You'll see all the videos as I post them. The other day I was watching somebody else's YouTube channel and they said, hey, look out for this Dune book. It's worth a couple $100, and I found it the next day. If you guys have seen something on the channel that you didn't know was a bolo and then you found it and you picked it up because of me, let me know. I would love to hear that story. So get at me in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.